The tech house is charged with tension as Claire and the Newmans finally have her chance to bring her sinister Aunt Jordan to justice. Jordan's laundry list of evil deeds on Young and the Restless makes her deserving of the ultimate punishment. But as much as we'd all love to see Claire give Jordan her comeuppance, it might not be the best move just yet. Why? Because Jordan holds a vital piece of information, and it's a matter of life and death. Jordan's villainy isn't in question, but her knowledge is. She is the only person who knows just how much Ian wants Sharon dead and how far he'll go. In fact, he's vowed to not give up until the poor woman is 6 feet under. He's on a mission to murder, and Jordan could very well be the key to stopping the madness. Sure, we could argue that someone else might eventually figure it out, but why risk it? The clock is ticking, and Sharon's life could be hanging by a thread. She's managed to save herself, but if we know anything about Ian and Jordan, it's to not count them out. Sharon may be out of her chains and in Mariah's arms, but she's definitely not out of the woods. Keeping Jordan alive, at least for now, is the smartest play for everyone involved. After all, Ian is relentless, to say the least. Aside from the practical reasons, there's another compelling argument to spare Jordan the drama. Genoa City thrives on twists, and killing Jordan would cut off a juicy storyline far too soon. Imagine the possibilities if the Newmans were to extract even more information from Jordan about a whole host of crimes. The more dirt she can get on the evil aunt, the better. They could take the moral high ground while still gaining the upper hand. Don't get us wrong, Jordan shouldn't get off scot-free. Her sins demand justice, and viewers deserve to see her pay for her misdeeds. But timing is everything. By keeping Jordan alive, the family can ensure Sharon's safety, uncover more secrets, and, let's face it, keep us all glued to our screens. Once Sharon is truly safe and the dust settles, they can serve up her brand of poetic justice, but not a moment before. Every move is a calculated chess game. For the Newmans, sparing Jordan isn't just the right move, it's the only move. Let's hope they make the right call, or the consequences could ripple far beyond what anyone imagines. Hey everyone, welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers plop fans into a familiar position. Victor doesn't like what or how Nikki did something, and he's here to tell her about it. The last time Victor went head-to-head with Jordan, he locked her up in his torture dungeon until Cole and Michael pointed out that his actions may have been a wee bit illegal. Jordan went to prison, and then she escaped. Victor will now handle Jordan once and for all. But then Victor finds out that Nikki has her own plan, that she plotted with Victoria and Claire, without consulting with Victor first. Sure, Victor can keep it secret from his wife that he's got a madwoman locked up in their house. If it was good enough for Mr. Rochester and Jane Eyre, it's more than good enough for Victor Newman, manliest man who ever man-lied. But Nikki had better not dare to keep something from him. Ever. You got that? Mariah is not having a happy new year. Her mother has been missing since midnight on New Year's Eve, and the man who stars in most of Mariah's nightmares is back in Genoa City and acting like a saint when Mariah knows he's the worst kind of sinner. Mariah is proven right, but it's not exactly how she wanted it. Starshine. Doesn't it feel like, every day, Billy is making a major announcement about how he will bring down somebody and begin a new life? No more Mr. Nice Guy. Well, he's doing it again. He will get back at everyone who has ever wronged him. And he's about to start, now, again. The Young and the Restless spoilers recall that Sally Spectra has had a really tough time in recent years on the soap. From having a difficult relationship with Adam Newman to losing their baby. Then, Adam cheating her with Chelsea. It truly has been a lot. If anyone needs a break from the emotional roller coaster on the CBS Sudser, it is Sally. Luckily, the latest spoilers tease exactly that for her. A recently released I and R preview video shows Sally approaching Billy and Jack as the brothers discuss a matter at hand. She apologizes for interrupting them. However, Jack assures her that she has interrupted nothing as he was just about to leave. But even before Jack could leave, Sally smiles and shares that she has a surprise for Billy. Now, the Young and the Restless spoilers reveal nothing about Sally's surprise, but we have a feeling that it could be a baby news. Sally and Billy have been intimate several times by now, so pregnancy is definitely a possibility. Besides, Y and R spoilers tease the beginning of a new chapter in Billy Abbott's life in the upcoming episodes. So at this point, the dots almost automatically connect themselves. Moreover, fans have really been hoping for a pregnancy for Sally. She suffered a lot when she lost her baby. In fact, the recent episodes marked the 1-year anniversary of the baby's passing, which Sally suffered through alone, because Adam did not even remember it until he was reminded of it. However, Billy did bring it up with Sally. He asked her if she was alright. He does care about her, and at this point, Sally really deserves a fresh beginning, and everything that she has previously lost. However, we wonder how people around Sally and Billy will take this. Will Adam feel like he has made a huge mistake and try to win Sally back? The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of January 27 to 31 will have Mariah gasping or air. It's due to all the drama coming her way. Next, Victor and Nikki fight and then come together to take Jordan down. Meanwhile, Nate remains confused about Damien's identity. Maybe Audrey can help him out. Finally, Billy and Sally will enjoy some romantic moments while Kyle worries about Claire. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Maria Copeland is about to face a shocker. Speculations are running wild that area porter Copeland may join the list of Ian Ward's hostages. If not, Maria will go all white seeing Sharon Newman if only the latter succeeds in fleeing the sewer. Whatever the case, Maria is in for one heck of a week. In the meantime, Victor and Nikki Newman are at each other's throats again. The industry titan is upset with how his wife handled the whole Jordan situation. After all, secrets and Victor Newman do not mix well. However, Nikki has her reasons for keeping things from Victor, as he's no saint when it comes to keeping secrets. Remember how he kept Jordan stashed in his cellar without telling a soul? Now, the couple must find a way to stop Jordan, who grows dangerous each day. Their strategy could save Claire from some guilt of killing her own aunt. Moreover, Jordan's fate remains a topic of suspense, but Ian is going down for sure. The old troublemaker is about to be a part of a blood-stained conclusion. His chapter might end once and for all at the ranch with Victor pulling the trigger. Will Ian's story end as he drowns in his own blood? Next, Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra might take a dreamy trip to Paris. While love blooms for them, others are caught up in a hot mess. Claire's heroism in saving everyone from Jordan might leave Kyle Abbott more terrified than impressed. With all the upcoming twists, Genoa City is on fire. Victor stares out the door of the Newman ranch as Nick asks him what his mother and sister could be up to. Victor wishes he knew. They are still on the grounds, so he calls to get an update. He gets Nikki's voicemail and asks her to come home now. Nick and Chance are there with bad news. Nick calls Faith and urges her to stay home with the doors locked. They speculate on whether Jordan has left town. The detective insists that this is police business now and they are doing it by the book. He gets a call about an abandoned black truck and tells him to keep him posted before jogging out. Although Victor assures the cop that his vigilant days are over, he confirms for his son that this is far from the case. He's determined to handle this without the police and in ways that might not be legal. At Society, Ian attempts to assure Tessa that he won't hurt anyone else. She still thinks that he used her and lied to get at the woman she loves. He knows that he may not be innocent, but he is human and is only trying to make amends. His transformation is real, even if everyone refuses to see it. Ian pleads with her to recognize that the people she loves have nothing to fear from him. He claims that his soul needs absolution only Mariah can give. His life had once been consumed by desire for power and control, but now he would give his life for Mariah to forgive him. Tessa thinks that's a big ask from someone who is still putting his needs above her wife's. Ward insists that he only wants to prove he is a different man, so they can take away Maria's childhood pain and set her free. Moving away from him, Tessa doesn't think she should be involved in this. Even talking to him feels like she's betraying her wife. She doubts that Mariah thinks he's changed at all. That doesn't surprise him. He says Mariah has always been stubborn, but she's also the most generous and helpful person he knows. Trying to break that goodness in her all those years ago is why he hates himself. As Ian continues begging her for help, Mariah rushes in and demands to know what he's doing there. When she threatens to call the cops, he explains he is only trying to make things right between them. She dismisses him as pathetic and delusional, declaring that she will hate him until the day she dies. Ordering Ian to stay away from her and her family, she says she hopes he keels over and croaks. He meekly exits. Exasperated, Mariah has to lean on a chair. After Mariah orders her wife to call her if Ward ever makes contact again, Tessa wonders if they are wrong about him. Maybe Ian has changed. He's been saying sweet things. Mariah tells her to stop. This is all BS that he uses to lure people in before he pounces. Reminding her that they did some pretty horrible things themselves, Tessa insists that people can change. Perhaps Mariah could let the rage go for her own sake. It's all lies, Mariah declares. She's not about to wipe the slate clean and can't understand why her wife doing this. Tessa explains there is a tenderness in Ian's words, and there is so much anger in Mariah that letting it go could be what's best for all of them. In the sewers, imaginary Nick keeps urging Sharon to remember the battles she's won and use the same strength to fight again. She's almost there, almost home. Trying, she mutters as he continues urging her to be strong. At Victoria's, Jordan says that Claire got rather dramatic in demanding she stop drinking her tea. It's almost like she's having second thoughts about something. The topic turns back to their plan. Jordan remains cagey about telling her niece where she's keeping Sharon. That is leverage she needs to keep. When she stands, Claire leaps up and tells her she needs to give her up. "Who are you to start giving me orders?" Jordan asks. Claire points out that everyone probably knows she's on the loose. That means that the Newmans and the cops will be searching for her. The only chance she has is to do as she says. Claire reminds her that they have the opportunity for revenge and more money than they could spend. All she needs to do is let her in on where Sharon is stashed. If she doesn't tell her, she will throw her aunt to the police. As they bicker about their past, Claire reminds her that her ass is on the line. If they don't cover her tracks, they can't move forward. Jordan accuses her of being brainwashed by the Newmans. All her new self-righteousness is positively nauseating to be around. Her niece claimed she only cozied up to them to make a score, but Jordan can see that's a lie. She demands to know what she put in her tea and refuses to believe her when she claims it was only a gave. As their arguing escalates, Jordan declares that she will leave. Claire can't stop her, and neither can Victor's goons. "We will stop you," Nikki declares as she and Victoria suddenly pop up. Claire confirms for her aunt that this was all a con, and she walked right into it. Jordan admits she's been sloppy and let herself be sucked in just as Claire was by all the Newman lies. "Don't talk to my daughter like that, you crazy bitch," blurts Victoria. Pointing her finger, Jordan declares that there is more of her running through Claire's veins than there ever will be of her biological mother. The poison tea is evidence of it. Claire challenges her to take a sip of the tea, and Jordan rails about how she has no guts and always flinches. All three of these dames squander their opportunities, just like they did last year. She's a cat with 9 lives and always escapes. Jordan goes on to say Nikki was the easiest one to manipulate of all. Nikki declares they are stronger than they have ever been. That makes Jordan cackle. Victoria thinks she's a rabid animal that needs to be put out of her misery. Nikki adds no one will care when it happens and jokes they could feed her the poison tea intravenously. Claire confirms to her aunt that this was all a plan of her devising. At society, Tessa apologizes for upsetting Mariah, but she accuses her of taking the word of psychopath over her own. Maria says Ian can only destroy, and he's not the person who can fix her. Tessa protests. She was only commenting on how he seems to her. Her wife thinks she could have timed this better. She didn't need to be heard while Sharon could be dead somewhere. When Tessa continues apologizing, Mariah rants, "I can't believe you would do this to me," and storms out. In the sewers, Nick pushes Sharon to take one step at a time. She gasps that she can only do it if he helps her. When he prods her to get out of there to protect the people she loves, she pulls herself up and starts taking one heavy step at a time. Slowly, she walks out, crying that she needs to get home. At the tack house, Nick and Victor arrive. "Just can't get rid of me, can you?" Jordan chuckles when she spots her old enemy. Victor thinks she's run out of places to hide. She's not so sure and prompts Claire to explain what she has. Her niece explains that Jordan claims to have Sharon somewhere. Nick starts to growl, so Jordan tells Victor to put a leash on his son. Poor little Sharon doesn't have much time left. She explains that her partner became unreliable, adding that Ian is the one who killed Heather. They had a beautiful deal that would bring Mariah back into Ian's life and Claire into hers. Nick guesses they also drugged Sharon. Jordan admits it, and that she was assigned to off the blondie, but decided to tuck her away somewhere safe instead. Repeating that Sharon doesn't have much time left, she suggests that if they want to see her alive again, they'd better make her an escape offer. "One you will honor this time," she adds. When they claim skepticism, she gives them details about Sharon's disappearance. Claire is sure she's telling the truth and urges them not to take this lightly. Emerging from the sewers, shivering, Sharon stumbles through the park. Mariah wanders by, spots her, and rushes over to take her in her arms. Back at the tack house, Victoria starts railing at Jordan and how she needs to be thrown into a hole. "Trust me, lady, I would love it if we were left alone in a room together." Jordan tells Beauty to be cautious about what she wishes for. "It all ends tonight. You end tonight," Victor decrees. Jordan isn't impressed. Nick is fidgeting, and she reminds him that if she dies, so does Sharon. She throws that in Victor's face, asking if his children and grandchildren will forgive him for that. "You will end tonight," he repeats. Saying she's holding all the cards, Jordan tells Handsome it's time to fold. She wants lots of money. "Oh baby, I've got lots of it," he says, getting in her face. She doesn't want him to pretend to be her hostage this time. Maybe one of the ladies. Not Nikki, since she's had her before, so maybe Claire will volunteer? Nikki says no one will go with her. Jordan orders them to stop wasting time and meet her demands. Mariah calls Nick to say she's found Sharon and she's okay. He says he's on his way. Nick announces Sharon has been found and exits. Jordan gulps. "What do you have to bargain with now?" Victor asks as he smirks at Jordan. "It's all over for you." Jordan claims she can give them Ian. Victor doesn't need her help for that. Turning to Claire, her aunt asks if her endgame was to trap her like a caged animal. I love you so much." Claire doesn't think she knows the meaning of the word. This is where it needs to end for her. After looking around, Jordan panics, grabs the tea, and starts gulping it down as they all watch. Many throughout the country are currently experiencing the frigid cold temperatures and the snow that comes along with it. The young and the restless Christian Jules Leblanc was as well, and while some may despise the weather, he didn't mind it one bit. The CBS soap vet posted a video on Instagram, bundled up in a green hat and coat, with a gray neck warmer from his home in New Orleans, where the area was caught up in a winter storm. "I guess I'm not alone with the rest of the country. It is snowing here in New Orleans. I'm actually standing next to my house," he stated, then panned the camera down the side of his home. Of the snowstorm, Leblich continued, "I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I had to get out here and take a look." You may be wondering what the big deal was. So what? It's just snow. But it was a pretty big deal for the actor. "I have not seen snow since I was in high school," Leblich revealed, then went on to recall how it took almost 2.5 good blocks for the sophomore class of his high school to gather up some snow to make a snowman. Given that the area doesn't get much of the white stuff, he took viewers on a tour of his garden, which was, yep, you guessed it, covered by snow, then talked about possibly being the first of his neighbors to come out to see the snow, which started around 6:00 a.m. Nothing was going to keep me in. He also shared a before and after of downtown New Orleans, to which he deemed snowmageddon. Capturing Jordan Climax this week when Claire discovered her aunt was in Genoa City and swore it would be the last time. After convincing her grandmother, Nikki, and her mom, Victoria, to help her lure and kill her aunt Jordan, Claire blew her cover. Claire had gotten Jordan back to the tack house and gave a convincing performance, but slipped up when she demanded to know where Sharon was, simply out of kindness. Jordan knew that if Claire was still the girl she raised, she wouldn't have compassion, and so she called Claire's bluff. However, Victor and Nick walked in, and Jordan turned her attention to planning her escape. She lost control of the situation when Mariah called to say she had Sharon and she was alive. Cornered, Jordan ran to the table and drank the cup of tea there, as she believed that Claire had poisoned it. If Jordan isn't able to kill herself, she'll have to face prison. And as he promised, Ian Ward wants his revenge for deserting him before he won back Mariah. On Friday, Victor questions Nikki. How could she agree to this plan? And why did she think she would handle it without him knowing? Why didn't Nikki let Victor protect her the way he promised he would? Meanwhile, Mariah is furious that Tessa tried to get into her head with Ian's lies. When she learns that Ian was working with Jordan and was the one who supposedly killed Heather, will Tessa still defend him? Can Mariah forgive Tessa for not unquestionably having her back and keeping their family safe from the monster Mariah has known her whole life? Billy has reconsidered his stance on getting revenge on Victor through Adam and Newman Media. Phyllis had called him out for wanting revenge on Adam for losing Chelsea and bringing her along to make it happen, risking everything. Has Billy had a change of heart about getting revenge, or has he just come up with a better plan? Everyone kept warning him it was a bad idea. Did he realize he told too many people his intentions? Or is he ready to take their advice and move on? Jack and Billy meet at the jazz club, but this time, their conversation goes better than the last. At Society, Tessa told Ian that Abby banned him. He said she didn't need to call the police, but Tessa told him that she was upset he'd lied to her when they met, and he used her to find out information about Mariah. Ian sadly noted that he kept trying to make amends, but no one believed his transformation was real. But it's real, Tessa, Ian pleaded. Tessa told him that Mariah didn't want to see him. Ian asked for a chance to convince Tessa that the people she loved didn't need to fear her. Ian pleaded his case to Tessa, but she said it would be hard for anyone to believe him when he was scaring them by not staying away. Ian felt he was the one who put the hardened heart inside of Mariah by the things he had done. He wanted Tessa's help to get Mariah to heal and set her free from the traumas that he had caused, thereby making his amends. Tessa told him it felt wrong to be talking to him. Ian said she was just helping an old man. They talked about how Mariah wouldn't want them talking, and Ian got Tessa to soften by complimenting Mariah and saying how he had hurt her. Maria saw them through the window and came storming in as Ian was begging Tessa to help him. "What the hell are you doing here?" Mariah snapped. Ian explained he wasn't giving up on convincing her he was a changed man and was just asking for Tessa's help. Mariah told him loud and clear there was no salvation or forgiveness. So for the very last time, you stay away from me, you stay away from Tessa, you stay the hell away from Aria, and any of the rest of my family. Nobody wants you here," Mariah screamed. She told him to leave town, or better yet, to just keel over and die. Ian asked if that was her final word, then sadly walked out. Mariah told Tessa that the next time she saw Ian, call the police. Tessa agreed, but asked to consider that Ian was sincere about making amends. She explained that he hadn't done anything wrong since coming to town and saved her life. She added that he'd said some sweet, truthful things about Mariah. Mariah couldn't believe her ears and told Tessa to stop. Tessa kept trying to speak on behalf of Ian. Mariah snapped that this was how Ian operates, roping people in, and then that's when he strikes. Tessa said, "I know that's how he was," but Mariah barked at her. "No is Tessa, is, nothing has changed." Tessa kept defending Ian and asking Mariah to just consider that what he was saying was true. "And to let the rage go, for your own sake," she added, sounding just like him. Mariah firmly kept telling her that it was all a lie. "And after all the things that I've told you about him, how can you stand in front of me and defend him? I don't understand why you are doing this," Mariah argued. Tessa said it was something in Ian's words and how tenderly he spoke of Mariah. She noted that on the flip side, Mariah was just full of rage. She asked Mariah to let it go, for herself as much as for Ian. Tessa whimpered she hadn't meant to upset Mariah, but her wife didn't know what else she expected would happen. Tessa said she was just hoping to lift some of her childhood trauma, but Mariah told her she was fine. "And even if I wasn't, Ian is not the person that's going to fix me," Mariah told her adamantly. Mariah said Ian only destroys, yet Tessa, for some unknown reason, believed he changed. "I can only tell you how he seemed to me," Tessa implored. "And you had to make this observation tonight? When we have been dealing with hell for God knows how many months. My mother is missing and possibly dead," Mariah listed. Tessa said they didn't know that, but Mariah snapped. "It's true, she could be, but you know what? You had to be heard. You had to make a case for Ian. You had to be heard," Mariah told Tessa. Tessa apologized, but Mariah didn't want to talk or hear any more apologies for Ian. "It's not going to set me free, and I can't believe you do this to me," Mariah said, visibly upset, before walking out. At the ranch house, Chance and Nick asked Victoria what he thought Nikki and Victoria were up to. He tried calling Nikki, but it went to voicemail. Nick didn't like it that they were somewhere on the property, but they didn't know where. With Jordan and Ian on the loose, it wasn't safe. On the phone, Victor told security to find Jordan and bring her by. Nick warned Faith to keep the doors locked. Victor didn't think Jordan had left town as she hadn't gotten what she came to get. Chance told them if they heard anything, they needed to the police so they could do things by the books. Chance got a call that they found Jordan's abandoned truck and went to check it out. Victor assured him his vigilant days were over. Once alone, Victor and Nick discussed how Victor didn't mean what he said to Chance. Victor explained that whatever Nikki and Victoria were up to was something he didn't want the police to be involved in, as it probably wasn't entirely legal. In the old sewer, Nick continued to encourage Sharon to wake up and be strong enough to save herself. "You're almost there. You're almost home," Sharon heard him say as she came in and out of consciousness. Nick told Sharon that her family was waiting, but their lives could be in danger too. That gave Sharon the strength to stand. As Nick kept encouraging her, she took one step at a time towards the stairs. "I can do this," Sharon told herself. "I have to get home. One step at a time," she cried as she made her way out. Sharon stumbled outside and slumped to the bench at the lookout in Chancellor Park. Just then, Maria was walking by and saw her. "Mom, Mom," she cried and ran to her. Maria held Sharon as she promised she would never let anyone hurt her again. At the tack house, Jordan put down her cup and noted that Claire had dramatically told her not to drink it. She asked why she would do that after so kindly making it for her. One would think you're having second thoughts about something, Jordan told her. Claire told Jordan she barely knew Sharon, but she was fond of Mariah and Tessa, and wanted to know where Sharon was. She said they didn't need Sharon as insurance because Claire would take care of her now. Jordan laughed and wanted to keep that information to herself a bit longer. You never know when someone might unexpectedly turn on you, she added. Claire stood up and firmly told her aunt that she wasn't asking. She was telling her that their fight wasn't with Sharon, so give her up. Who are you to start giving me orders? Jordan seethed. Claire said she was Jordan's best shot at staying hidden, and reminded her how everyone would be looking for her by now, including Chance, Nick, and Victor. Claire continued to snap at her about how she'd proven to her she could be trusted by not turning her in and bringing her to the ranch, and bringing her in on her plan. I was ready to take care of my mother on my own, and I still can, Claire warned. She stepped forward and menacingly threatened that if Jordan didn't tell her where Sharon was, she would call the police. Jordan couldn't believe Claire's orders and harsh tones. Claire said she was offering her a new life, but her sloppiness could cost her everything. So just tell me where she is or let her go, but cover your tracks so we can move forward, Claire snapped. Jordan accused her of being brainwashed by Newman's self-righteousness. Jordan said Claire was lying and asked what was in the tea. Claire didn't know what she was talking about and told Jordan she only put agave in her tea. She swore she had been playing the Newmans to make her score, and she only wanted Sharon to be released in return. Jordan laughed and said Claire had just given herself away, as the girl she'd raised wouldn't care about some blonde bitch that she barely knew. Jordan grabbed her coat to leave, but Claire laughed that she wouldn't make it to the gates. Jordan was confident she could sneak past Victor's goons again. You're not going anywhere, Claire told her aunt. Jordan snickered and asked if Claire thought she was going to stop her. Nikki and Victoria came down the stairs and said, "No, but we will." "Hello, Nikki. You look sober," Jordan sniffed. Claire told her it had all been a con, and she walked right into it. Jordan admitted she had lost her touch and gotten sucked in. When she started to rant that the Newmans had ruined her, Victoria told her to shut up and called her a crazy bitch. Jordan asked if there was poison in her tea. "Why don't you drink it and find out?" Claire asked. Jordan laughed at her and said she didn't believe she had the guts, and that was why she stopped her from drinking it. "Just like you didn't have the guts to pull the trigger last winter back in the cabin," Jordan pointed out. She noted that Claire always held back, like in the warehouse. Jordan taunted them for never being able to follow through with killing her or keeping her in prison because she always escaped. "I'm a cat with 9 lives, and I have a few more left," Jordan mocked. Jordan told Nikki that she was the easiest one of all, but Nikki retorted that they were all stronger than ever. Victoria and Nikki told her they needed to put the world out of its misery. "And you're on board with all of this?" Jordan asked Claire. "It was my idea," she replied. Just then, Nick and Victor walked in. "Hello, Victor. Just can't get rid of me, can you?" Jordan smiled. "I think we'll succeed this time," Victor growled. Claire told them that Jordan knew where Sharon was. Nick yelled at her for details, but Jordan told Victor to put a leash on his son. "Are you all in good time?" she drawled, noting that poor Sharon had little time left. Victor noted she was working with Ian. Jordan told them that Ian killed Heather Stevens, as she didn't want that one pinned on her. Jordan told them the plan, that Ian had wanted Sharon out of the way to make a path to Mariah, and then Claire was next. She admitted the drugs wore off Sharon, and she started remembering things, and when the murder case was reopened, they had to take Sharon. Jordan added she was supposed to kill her, but hid her instead. Given the rations she'd left for her, Jordan told them she didn't think Sharon had much longer. "If you want to see her alive again, you should make me an escape offer, one that you'll honor this time," Jordan told them. Nick and Victor told Jordan she could have read the details of Sharon's disappearance online and was lying about her involvement. She specified that Sharon's car was found on Carlsbad Road, with tire tracks going all the way down to the water at the exact place that Heather Stevens' body was found, crediting that detail to Mariah. Claire believed her as she told her the same information earlier when she had no reason to lie. However, she knew they couldn't take anything Jordan said lightly. Victoria ripped into Jordan for stealing her daughter when she was a baby. She told her she wished they were locked in a room together so they could work it out properly. Jordan warned Victoria she might get her wish yet. Victor said it all ends tonight, but Jordan warned if they killed her, Sharon would die. Jordan asked if Victor's children and grandchildren would ever forgive him for that. "You will end tonight," Victor repeated menacingly. Jordan told Victor she held all the cards and thought he should indulge her. Jordan wanted a lot of money and for one of them to be her hostage to escape. Nikki told her no one was going with her and she wouldn't hurt anyone in the family again, especially Sharon. Jordan snickered at their family loyalty as Nick answered his phone. No interruptions. Jordan demanded as she was trying to negotiate her escape. It was Mariah calling. She told Nick that Sharon was alive and where they were. Nick hung up and told everyone the news, then left to pick them up. What she had to bargain with now. Victor snickered at Jordan. Victor told Jordan there was no way out for her now. "I have another bargaining chip. I can give you Ian Ward," Jordan offered. Victor declined, but she added that Ian had a weakness for her. Victor yelled they didn't need her for anything. "Was this your end game, to trap me like a caged animal?" Jordan asked Claire. Claire admitted the plan was to ensure she never hurt anyone again. Jordan trembled as she told Claire she loved her. "You don't know the meaning of the word. Any sympathy I had for you was knocked out of me a long time ago after all the lives you've taken and ruined. This is where it needs to end for you," Claire told her. Jordan ran to the table and grabbed the big mug of tea. She started to drink it as quickly as she could. On The Young and the Restless, Lucy Romalotti spent most of last year in angst. She struggled through a rebellious stage of underage drinking, trying to hang out with older teens, and being publicly scolded by Sharon. Just when Lucy got her act together, her whole world blew up when her mom, Heather Stevens, was murdered. Lucy's dad, Daniel Romalotti, was framed and charged with her murder. So to avoid more damage for Lucy, he sent her to go on tour with her grandfather, rock star Danny Romalotti. There, she was up on stage, doing the choreography with the dancers and enjoying being part of the show. That portrayal of Lucy as a performer was told, but not seen, but ironically, it was getting close to art imitating life for Lily Brooks O'Brien. It turns out that the actress who plays Lucy has a secret talent we haven't experienced on the show. Lily Brooks O'Brien is a talented singer. In addition to having a new song, Get in Line, drop on Friday, she'll also be performing. On Monday, January 27, 2025, at 6:30 p.m., O'Brien will be performing at the Troubadour. The historic nightclub is known for being a career-launching pad for singers, songwriters, and even comedians. In the 1960s, comedian Lenny Bruce made the news after being arrested at the Troubadour for obscenity for using the word schmuck. In the 70s, Cheech and Chong and Steve Martin were discovered there, and the stage was graced by Elton John, as well as Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band as they were starting out. Many well-known performers and bands, like Guns N' Roses, were discovered on stage at the Troubadour. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Jordan and Ian Ward's return to Genoa City has been explosive. Still, as Claire Newman attempts to dupe her aunt into believing she wants out of the little town and the Newman family, it looks like there's a ton of chaos and drama in store for fans. Jordan will likely not fall for Claire's scheme, and disaster could be looming for Victoria Newman and Cole Howard's daughter. Still, before we dive into further speculation on Jordan's future in GC, time to provide a refresher on the vile villainess. Who is the Young and the Restless, Aunt Jordan? Jordan debuted in November 2023 and was introduced to fans as the sister of Eve Howard, Cole's mom, and Victor Newman's ex. As fans may recall, Eve suffered from mental health issues and passed away in the early 1990s. Of course, Jordan blamed the Newmans for her sister's passing and had a major disdain for Victor and the woman he left Eve for, his wife, Nikki Newman. When Jordan was initially introduced, she used Claire as bait to lure the Newman family to her lake house. Claire came to Genoa City and began working as Nikki's assistant. Some weeks later, after earning Nikki's trust, she asked her boss to stop by and visit her aunt during a road trip Nikki was taking to see her own sister. Claire and Jordan ended up knocking Nikki out and placed an IV of vodka in her system, which caused the recovery alcoholic to fall off the wagon. Victoria, Victor, and Nick Newman were eventually lured to the lake house too, along with Cole, and poisoned. It was during this time that Vicky and Cole found out that Claire was the daughter they shared, baby Eve, whom they believed died shortly after birth. In actuality, Jordan kidnapped the child and raised her believing that her parents had abandoned her. My and our spoilers. Claire Grace saves the Newmans. Jordan Howard goes on a rampage. While Claire initially helped Jordan poison the Newmans, when she began to realize that Cole and Victoria had wanted her and didn't abandon her, she had a change of heart. She ended up helping the family find the antidote for the poison before they died. However, Jordan escaped the police when they arrived and went out on the run. Since then, Jordan has been locked in prison for her wrongdoings, but has escaped multiple times. She even had a stint in Victor's dungeon cell in the basement of the old Newman ranch home, but thanks to Cole and Michael Baldwin, she was sent to prison. More recently, Ian helped swap Jordan out of her maximum security cell for another inmate, and that's how she was able to escape and wreak in the little town over the past few weeks. What kind of shenanigans will Jordan be up to now? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sally Spectra has a happy surprise for her lover. With Billy Abbott starting a new chapter that same week, could it mean some baby news is on the way? After all, it has been over a year since Sally lost her daughter. Plus, it seems that Billy needs something to focus on other than revenge. In addition to that, maybe Sally's baby could mend the rift between Billy and Jill Abbott. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sally Spectra's heartbreaking loss. E&R spoilers reveal that over a year ago, Sally and Adam Newman lost their baby daughter. It was a gut-wrenching scene and one that fans have not forgotten. Then, when baby Ava Spectra Newman's first death anniversary rolled around, Sally grieved mostly alone. Adam didn't remember until the very last minute. Before Adam showed up, Sally actually opened up about her loss to Billy. My and our spoilers, unexpected surprise. Sally and Adam's romance didn't work out. However, Sally has moved on with Billy. In a weekly preview clip, Sally interrupts Billy sitting at a table with Jack Abbott. Sally has some kind of surprise for Billy. Judging by the look on Sally's face, it must be a happy surprise. Could this unexpected surprise be a pregnancy? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that the same week that Sally unveils her surprise, Billy starts a new chapter. That indicates whatever is in Sally and Billy's future. It's something they embark on together. It would come at a good time as Billy seems so fixated on revenge and enemy alliances. Phyllis Summers warned Billy that he should think about his children, but that didn't seem to stop him from continuing to plot. My and our spoilers, babies and bombs. However, if Billy and Sally end up getting pregnant, that could change everything. Billy would vow to be there every step of the way for Sally, especially since her last pregnancy ended so tragically. Sally would need extra support as any mother-to-be would wonder if the same thing could happen again. Of course, it would be interesting if Sally's baby somehow mended the rift between Billy and his own mother. While Billy feels betrayed, disowning one's mother over a company seems pretty silly. Are you ready to see Sally become a mother? Could Sally end up getting pregnant with Billy's baby? How would Adam handle that bombshell? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, January 23, promise some major bombshells in the land of Genoa City. One person is backed into a corner, while a villain torments his victim, and a life hangs in the balance. What's set to unravel during Thursday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Jordan Howard is backed into a corner. Y and R spoilers for Thursday, January 23, reveal that Jordan will be backed into a corner by none other than Victor Newman. Sounds like the mustache will rescue Claire Newman from her aunt while at the tack house just in time. But what will Victor do to Jordan during their confrontation? And will she escape any possible repercussions? Then again, perhaps Jordan will spill where Sharon Newman is hidden for the big rescue. Only time will tell. Speaking of Jordan, my and our spoilers for Thursday, January 23, suggest that her partner in crime, Ian Ward, will torment poor Mariah Copeland. As fans know, Mariah's mom, Sharon, is missing, so will Ian taunt Mariah with that, or will he use Tessa Porter to get under Mariah's skin? Tessa seems to have a soft spot for the cult leader and is definitely falling for his manipulative games. So could Mariah see Tessa talking to Ian and go off on her wife? Is this the way Ian causes chaos for Mariah on Thursday's show? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sharon Newman's life hangs in the balance. Lastly, Y and R spoilers for Thursday's episode imply that Sharon's life will hang in the balance as she continues to rot in the sewage basement where Jordan left her. Her chains may be broken, but her energy levels are low thanks to the drugged water she was drinking. Is there a chance that Nick Newman can save her in time? Fans will have to tune in to find out. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victoria Newman has been blaming herself for not being there to protect her daughter. However, Victoria never knew that Claire Newman exited until recently. Now that Claire has a plan to get rid of Jordan Howard, will Victoria confess to murder to protect her? The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate that Claire has decided that Jordan has to die to protect herself and her family. Claire has lured Jordan to the Newman ranch with the pretense of wanting to kill Victoria. Instead, Claire plans to kill Jordan no matter what the cost. Will Claire succeed in her plans? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victoria confesses to Jordan's murder to protect Claire. Claire's plans to kill Jordan will no doubt send her to prison for premeditated murder if she follows through with them. Victoria doesn't want to see her daughter go to prison for ending a threat against her. If Jordan ends up dying, will Victoria end up confessing to murder to keep Claire out of prison? My and our spoilers. Victoria Newman blames herself for Claire's predicament. Jordan almost killed herself at one point when she took a drug overdose several months ago. However, Nikki Newman refused to allow Jordan to die. Nikki believed that Jordan would be fine in prison and she could not get to anyone to hurt them again. However, that was not the case. Jordan managed to get out of prison and come after the Newmans again. Jordan partnered up with Ian Ward to go after the Newmans to get to Claire and Mariah Copeland. Jordan had conned someone into taking her place in prison, so others believed she was still there. Victoria hasn't spent a lot of time with her daughter Claire because Jordan kidnapped her at birth. Victoria always wanted to protect her daughter and support her. However, Victoria was deprived of that. Victoria grieved her daughter's death and was forced to believe that she would never see her again. This is Victoria's chance to do the one thing she desires the most: protect her child. Now that Jordan has been taken care of, Victoria cannot allow Claire to be blamed for what she has done. Claire cannot go to prison for taking care of the woman who tortured her all of her life. Victoria could lie and say she is responsible for what happened to Jordan. Will Victoria confess to keep Claire from going to prison? Will Jordan finally pay for everything she has done? The is playing a very dangerous game. Fans have watched with red flags waving everywhere, as the generally sweet character has methodically been organizing a fatal plan to enter Aunt Jordan's life. While the idea is coming from a good place, as Claire wants to protect her family, her demeanor has completely changed in the past few days of trying to execute this scheme. Could she have triggered something dark from her past that will cause her life to spiral? The young and the restless spoilers have old, unhealthy habits resurfaced for Claire Newman? My and our spoilers suggest that despite wanting to put an end to Jordan and the chaos she brings, Claire has been spending more time with her aunt than she has in a long while. During their chats, the two talked about old times, and Claire has been bringing up all the things her aunt has taught her over the years. While Claire is trying to fool Jordan into trusting her, could this nostalgic walk down memory lane cause old and unhealthy habits to surface? Could it possibly bring up past trauma that Claire was able to overcome during therapy, but is now back in her mind, ready to haunt her? One of Victoria Newman's biggest concerns about her daughter was regression. She's made so much progress getting over the childhood trauma and is finally living her best life. Claire has an amazing job, an amazing boyfriend, and a bright future ahead. Victoria has also been concerned about Claire's behavior since she came up with the idea to off Jordan. Victoria has noticed how different Claire presents herself, how cold and calculating she's been. There's a good chance that Claire will not end up being successful in ending Jordan's life, but in the process of trying to dupe her aunt, could Claire's dark side reemerge? Could this cause issues for her and Kyle Abbott or her relationship with the Newmans? Will Harrison Abbott pick up on a change in Claire's personality? For months now on The Young and the Restless, Mariah and Tessa have been living happily with their baby daughter, off-screen. Everyone off-screen is always happy, until they return to the show to announce that they have broken up. Mariah and Tessa seem to be a united front, until Ian came back into their lives. Do you think things are bad now? Here's how they could be much, much worse. Mariah thinks that Ian has always been awful, is awful, and will always be awful. She knows. She grew up under his thumb. Tessa, for her part, thinks he's kind of okay. He seems nice. He helped her when she felt dizzy, and he's a man of God now. What if he's changed? After all, both Mariah and Tessa used to be pretty awful. But they changed, and they're good now, if off-screen. Mariah refuses to believe it, and she blasted her wife for so much as suggesting Mariah believe it. She yelled, fumed, and stormed out. This is good because it led to her finding Sharon and calling to let Nick know, thus cutting Jordan's blackmail off at the knees. So yay, Mariah, but no yay, her marriage. How could it get any worse? Here's how. Tessa is already feeling kindly towards Ian. What if it turns out he's her father? Yeah, Ian was proven not to be Dylan's father because his ex-wife claimed he was sterile. But she could have lied, and she could have been wrong, or both. The Young and the Restless recap for Thursday, January 23, reveals that Sharon saves herself while Jordan may meet her end. Ian went to society despite being banned by Abby. Tessa reminded him of his past. Ian said he was sorry and wanted Mariah's forgiveness. He asked Tessa to help him. Tessa refused. However, Ian continued pleading until Mariah showed up. She was furious to see Ian at the restaurant. She demanded he leave town. Mariah even wished he'd disappear entirely. Ian left, and Tessa considered calling the police if he returned. She wondered if Ian's remorse was genuine, but Mariah dismissed the possibility. She wasn't happy with Tessa for entertaining the idea of forgiveness. Angry, she stormed out, and Tessa called out after her. Meanwhile, Sharon hallucinated Nick urging her to fight. Although she was tired, she eventually gathered her strength, encouraging herself to escape. Slowly, Sharon navigated through the dark. At the ranch, Victor, Nick, and Chance discussed the dangers Ian and Jordan posed. Victor called security and demanded they find Jordan. Chance received a tip about a black truck and left to investigate. Victor told Nick he preferred to handle the whole thing without the cops since Nikki and Victoria's scheme probably wasn't legal. At the tack house, Jordan and Claire clashed. Claire pressured her aunt to reveal Sharon's location. Claire threatened to involve the police. Jordan mocked Claire's morality. However, Nikki and Victoria showed up and told Jordan they'd use Claire to trap her. Victor and Nick walked in. Jordan reluctantly admitted that Ian had been drugging Sharon to control her. She proposed a deal in exchange for Sharon's freedom. Victor dismissed her bargaining attempts, vowing to end her that night. In the park, Mariah found Sharon wandering. They reunited, and Mariah called Nick to let him know she'd found Sharon. Overjoyed, Nick left to bring them home. Meanwhile, Jordan drank the poison tea. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.